What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happen in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoy the Scale News Update, hit the like button. We got a busy week of news. Let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, Proline by the Fire is coming up this coming weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that time frame. And it's going to be an awesome event. But beyond just the fact that it's going to be a huge event, going to be a great time, even if you're not going, you should be looking forward to it because it appears that we're going to see a handful of new items displayed at the event. The first one that I saw announced that was going to be announced at Proline by the Fire is a new truck from Element. Now, the initial photo that they're showing looks like it's going to be just another updated Enduro. You can still see that it's got the stock axles, and the bumper that they're showing looks kind of tubular, like retro style. So I would imagine that it's going to be some sort of retro appearing body on the standard Enduro chassis. The teaser didn't really give away anything beyond that, other than just, hey, heads up, watch for some news to come from the event. And then today, Axial and Proline both posted that there is a new release coming from each of them, but together it appears. It says Axial plus Proline, new release coming at Proline by the Fire. So another mix of the two. Now we've seen that not too long ago in that Axial, I think it was called like the Elite version of the Gladiator, that like $1,100 SCX 10.3 Gladiator that had Class 1 high racks on it. And you know, it had a number of hop-ups, things like that on it, but that was the first time that we've seen Proline products come on the Axial trucks out of the box since, you know, the early days of the SCX 10. Back then, before Axial made any of its own tires, they actually used to come with Proline tires out of the box. Fun fact, maybe you didn't know it. And speaking of Axial and Proline, Horizon Hobby recently launched the Horizon Hobby Custom Shop. Now, this was kind of soft launched couple of weeks ago. Matt and I talked about it on Livestream Takeover a little bit, and I didn't get it into the news, but the official launch email came out on Monday. This website, I'll link to it in the description below, but you can go on there and build your custom Axial vehicle. Now you can go on the website and you hit start build, and what you start with in this build is a pre-assembled Axial SCX 10.3 with straight axles, which is kind of interesting because Axial's never offered that before. And this piece is $299. $299, not that bad. Now, it doesn't come with any sorts of wheels, tires, body, or electronics. So we start looking at $389 for a base camp. It's like, well, you know, there's a lot of value in that $89 that this $299, you know, assembled chassis kit doesn't really give you. From there, things start to climb pretty quickly. The next step after choosing your chassis is your body. You select the body and the body color that you would like. Now at this time, there's only 3 body options to choose from. There is a Toyota 4Runner, a Toyota Tacoma, and a 2021 Ford Bronco. Each of those are available in 3 colors that you can have painted by somebody at Horizon. $129 for the 4Runner, $149 for the Tacoma, and $169 for the Bronco. Next, you have 2 options of upgraded shocks. One is the Proline Pro Spec scale shock, and the other is the Big Bore scale shock. Those are $61.99 a pair, and you have to get 2 pairs, obviously. Now, if you do add the upgraded shocks, it doesn't say if you get the stock shocks that came on the roller or not. Then you get into tires. There's only 2 options available, high racks or trenchers, but they're both the Class 1 version. You can only get Class 1 tires in this setup currently. Once you get past that, you've got wheels, powertrain, transmitter, receiver, servo, battery, charger, and lights. Now you don't have to choose all of those things. You can just choose the ones that you want or need. Now, if you go through the custom shop and you select just the bare bones to get just a running truck, not including battery, charger, or the lights, you're gonna end up at about $855. Now that's with a brushed system and a servo that's not even as good as their basic RTR servo. A decent chunk of that comes from the fact that the cheapest radio option that they offer is the DX5C at $150. But beyond that, you're looking at a pretty much like RTR setup, just with a body of your choice. But for a significant amount more. It's interesting. I think that we're seeing maybe the early days of this, and maybe we see an expansion of this, or if nobody utilizes it, maybe we don't. I don't know. You guys will have to drop your thoughts in below. As it sits, is it something that you may be interested in, or maybe not, but you see the potential and maybe you'll check back later. Next, coming from Boom Racing, they've got a BRX02 6x6 conversion kit that they're going to release. All of the details aren't available on this yet, but it looks like if you have the BRX02 linked chassis version, then you're going to be able to buy this conversion kit to turn that regular 4x4 into a 6x6 specifically made to fit the Team Raffy D110 6x6 body. It says details coming soon, so we'll have to learn what the full price and everything will be, but they posted some teaser photos up of it assembled. Looks pretty interesting. Next, I want to thank Crawler Innovations for sponsoring this month of the Scale News Update. For those of you who are the ultra tiny tire fans, Crawler Innovations also has dual stage foams for those super tiny tires like the 3.3, 3.7 inch tall 1.9. So if you've got one of those projects that runs a super tiny tire, don't overlook a good set of foams and what it can do to your performance, especially if you start adding a bunch of weight. Check these out. I'll link to this product in the description below. And don't forget, when you visit Crawler Innovations, you can use the code Harley10 to save 10% off of your entire order for the month. Go check that out. And thanks again to Crawler Innovations for sponsoring this month of the Scale News Update. Biddy Designs just released a new body called the Divina for the 1/8 scale Arma Infraction. This looks like a Bugatti, some version, or something out of Grand Theft Auto. One or the other, not 100% sure, but either way, another good looking body for those platforms. Granted, this is the 1/8 scale, not the 1/7. This body was just announced, but already available. So if you're looking for it, you can find it available now in the description below. For those of you that just bought that new CEN F250 Super Duty, the super tall lifted one with the off-road style suspension with the very non-off-road tires and wheels, they also just released a billet drop hitch, just like the full-size ones. Adjustable drop hitch with the, like reinforcement or the bracing bars that go down to it, the whole deal. Looks just like the full-size versions of these super lifted trucks with these big drop hitches. But obviously it's needed. If you're gonna try and tow with this, you're gonna need a drop hitch. Otherwise it's gonna look even sillier. The price is great on this though. So if you were thinking about getting a hitch, there's no reason to not grab this one. They did a great job and it looks like a pretty good looking product. Furitech has released a new kit called the Cayman Carbon Fiber Kit. This has the FCX24 axles under it off of the FMS truck, but the carbon fiber chassis kit, all of the links, as well as the all aluminum transmission are from Furitech, but they're kind of based off of the SCX24. So they kind of took and made the parts where they needed to, but to put the wider FCX24 portal axles underneath of this chassis with the drivetrain components that come from the SCX24 line. Pretty interesting. The kit is $199 and it's basically a full slider, no wheels and tires or body, but pre-installed in the truck is the Komodo brushless Outrunner style motor, but it does not include the radio gear or ESC. So it's that complete slider, but you will need to add some of the corresponding electronics except the motor. They throw that in. Tiny little custom truck in a box. $199, not a bad deal. It's on pre-order now, so if you're interested in that, check out the webpage and you can check out all the little add-on boxes they have as well, in case you want to just kind of fully kit it out. Last week in the Scale News Update, we teased a little bit about the upcoming monthly mayhem, where Matt and I have devised a plan and roped in 6 other YouTubers to join us in a challenge. And we weren't giving the full details, but there's miscommunication and the details were given out. So to catch you all up, Matt and I, as well as K-Pop RC, RC Review, Tom Lee RC, West Desert Wheeler, Turks and Jerps, and CCX RC are all diving in, and we're going to be taking the new Vanquish VS410 Phoenix straight axle and trying to turn it into a top speed machine again. We've done the top speed thing 2 other times with different platforms, but it's one of the most fun things to do. And we figured with bringing new people in, it'd be an easy thing to just give us all a easy measurable baseline. But at the end of this one, we're all just putting out one video rather than weekly videos. It'll just be the full story of our path through this project. Look for that just after the end of October. We'll keep you all updated and let you know when all of those videos are going to come out. Should be a fantastic time. For this week's live stream takeover, it's up in the air a little bit on how it's going to go down yet. Matt will already be down at Proline by the Fire. I should be there, but in case that I'm not, I'll do it from here. We'll see exactly how this goes. One way or the other, the show will go on, just like every week. Possibly with Matt and I in the same place at the same time. It'd be the first time for that in 130 some odd weeks that we've done it in a row. Tune in 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday to find out exactly what happened. But that's going to do it for this week's news topics. For this week's questions segment, last week we discussed what would you like to see banned in RC, and some of you did not let me down with your creative suggestions. My favorite. Creative and funny. Humor is always the best method. But for this week, I want to know, what's your favorite non-RC YouTube? YouTube is probably my #1 source for entertainment. Sometimes I run out of channels. So drop me some suggestions below, what you like to watch besides RC. But with that, thanks as always for watching the Scale News Update every Tuesday. With that, hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. And thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.